Let's be honest. Every single day, millions of us are trapped in this gridlock. It's that relentless crawl of traffic, the endless chorus of horns, and the frustrating feeling of being stuck when you have somewhere important to be. It's a universal pain we all feel, a reality of modern life that just grinds away our time and our patience. We've all been there, staring out the window, looking at the open sky, and just dreaming. For generations, the solution was pure science fiction, a fantasy from movies like The Jetsons or Blade Runner. The idea that you could just rise above it all. Well, that dream is no longer a dream. These aren't just concepts or movie magic anymore. They're real, they're flying, and they're about to change everything. Here in 2025, we are standing on the edge of a new transportation revolution. This is the rise of the flying car. And here's what happens next. We're going to explore the incredible machines making this possible and meet the companies pouring billions into this high-stakes tech race. We'll look at how these vehicles could reshape our cities, our economies, and our daily lives. And most importantly, we'll face the massive, almost terrifying safety and logistical hurdles we have to overcome before you can hail a flying taxi from your phone. The future is here, but it's a lot more complex than you might imagine. The dawn of a new era. To see where we're going, you first have to know how we got here. The idea of a personal flying machine is as old as the airplane itself, a persistent fantasy of ultimate freedom. But for a century, that's all it was. Early attempts were clumsy, dangerous, and wildly impractical hybrids that failed at being both a car and a plane. So what changed? The revolution really started with the buzz of a drone. The 2010s were a turning point, thanks to a perfect storm of three key technologies. First, the drone explosion gave us sophisticated, lightweight systems for multi-rotor flight. Second, a revolution in electric motors and battery tech meant we could finally ditch heavy, polluting combustion engines. And third, breakthroughs in composite materials allowed for strong, light, and aerodynamic bodies. This convergence split the dream of the flying car into two distinct paths, and that difference is everything. First, you have what are called roadable aircraft. These are the literal flying cars. They're street-legal vehicles that, at the push of a button, transform. Wings fold out, the tail extends, and take off from a runway like a plane. They offer the ultimate convenience. Drive from your house to an airfield, fly to another city, land, and drive to your final stop. But the second category, the one the industry is betting billions on, is the eVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing. Forget runways. These are basically giant, sophisticated drones built to carry people. Think of them as air taxis. Their ability to take off and land vertically, like a helicopter but way quieter, makes them a potential game changer for cities. They aren't meant to drive on roads. They're designed to hop from rooftop to rooftop, opening up a brand new dimension of travel. As of late 2025, neither of these paths is theoretical. The Klein Vision Air Car, a roadable aircraft, has already earned a certificate of airworthiness in Slovakia, proving the concept works. More recently, Aleph Aeronautics has begun initial flight testing for its radical electric vehicle, a machine that looks like it was pulled right from a sci-fi movie. The era of speculation is over. The era of implementation is starting now. The groundbreaking tech, the contenders. The race to own the sky is on, and the field is packed with brilliant, well-funded, and fiercely competitive companies. These aren't just tinkerers in a garage. We're talking about pioneers backed by automotive and aerospace giants. Let's meet the key contenders. First, the one that truly captures the imagination, the Aleph Aeronautics Model A. This is the true flying car. Unveiled in 2022, it's designed to be a car first, fitting in a normal parking space and driving on public roads. But its party trick is wild. 8 propellers hidden in its mesh body lift it straight up. Then, the entire car rotates 90 degrees on its side, while the cockpit stays level on a gimbal. The front and back of the car become wings, allowing it to fly forward. Aleph's philosophy is revolutionary. Build a car that fits our existing world. It received an FAA Special Airworthiness Certificate in 2023 for testing, a crucial first step, and aims for production by late 2025 or early 2026. Next, the pioneer that proved it was possible, the Klein Vision Air Car. This Slovakian marvel is a literal roadable aircraft. It looks and drives like a sports car, but in under 3 minutes, its tail extends and wings unfold. In 2022, it made history with a 35-minute flight between 2 airports in Slovakia, where it landed, transformed, and drove into the city. After intense testing, the Slovak Transport Authority granted it a certificate of airworthiness, a huge statement that a dual-mode vehicle could be safe and reliable. Now, for the air taxis, and the front-runner is Joby Aviation. Joby isn't building a car that flies. They're creating a new form of public transit. Their S4 aircraft is a 5-seat eVTOL with a pilot, designed for fast, quiet city travel. It uses 6 tilting rotors to lift off vertically, then fly like a plane, hitting speeds of 200 mph with a range of up to 100 miles. Joby's strategy is all-encompassing. They bought Uber's flying taxi division and are planning the entire ecosystem, from the app to the landing pads. With over 1,000 test flights done and deep into FAA certification, Joby is seen as the closest to launching a large-scale air taxi service, with plans for cities like New York and Dubai as early as 2025. Then there's the tech giant approach from Aerodynamics. Backed by Chinese EV powerhouse XPeng, their land aircraft carrier is a fascinatingly practical solution. Instead of one vehicle that does it all, it's a modular system. A 6-wheeled electric truck that carries a separate, detachable 2-person eVTOL in the back. You drive to an open area, deploy the flying module, and it takes off, leaving the truck behind. In October 2025, Aerodynamics, formerly XPeng Aero HT, made headlines with its first public piloted flight outside China, taking to the skies over Dubai. The event was a huge success, securing 600 orders from across the Middle East. With a massive factory in Guangzhou ready to produce 10,000 units a year, they're aiming for mass production in 2026. And what about full autonomy? That's the mission of Wisk Aero. Backed by Boeing, Wisk is betting the future of urban air travel is pilotless. Their Generation 6 eVTOL is a 4-seater designed from day one to be self-flying. Wisk argues that the only way to make this scalable and affordable is to remove the pilot, which slashes operational costs. It's a much bigger regulatory challenge, but Wisk is playing the long game, developing the AI and safety systems for autonomous flight over cities. Finally, we have the pragmatic European approach of PAL-V and its Liberty model. The PAL-V Liberty isn't an eVTOL, it's a gyrocopter. On the ground, it's a 3-wheeled car. For flight, a top rotor and a rear propeller unfold. It can't take off perfectly vertically, but needs only a very short runway. While less sci-fi, it's based on mature technology. PAL-V has received European road approval and is in the final stages of ESA flight certification, targeting pilots and drivers who want a bridge between today's aviation and tomorrow's air mobility. We've seen some incredible machines, from roadable cars to autonomous air taxis. The technology is clearly here and moving fast. But I want to know, which of these would you rather ride in? The drive and fly Aleph, The high-speed Joby air taxi? Or that futuristic modular design from Airage? Let me know in the comments below. It's fascinating to see what everyone's excited about, how it will forever change our world. So the tech is here. But what happens when these vehicles actually fill our skies? The short answer: everything changes. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a complete rewrite of how we live and work. First, let's talk about the death of the commute. Imagine living far outside the city, but instead of a miserable 90-minute drive, you head to a neighborhood vertiport. You board a quiet, electric air taxi that lifts off and flies in a straight line, high above the gridlock. Your journey takes 15 minutes. This is the core promise, giving us back hundreds of hours of our lives every year. This will be powered by the rise of the air taxi network. Most of us won't own one of these at first. We'll hail one with an app, just like an Uber. To keep costs down, these will likely be shared rides on set routes like a bus system in the sky. While a private flying car might cost $300,000, a seat in a shared air taxi could eventually be competitive with a premium Uber ride. The ripple effects will literally reshape our cities. We'll see vertiports pop up on top of parking garages, malls, and office buildings. These landing pads will become the new prime real estate, defining where people want to live and work. Proximity to a vertiport could be the new close to the subway. This could supercharge the 15-minute city concept into the 15-minute region. Suddenly, living in a quiet suburb no longer means you're cut off from the city's economic and cultural hub. This could ease the pressure on overcrowded downtowns and revitalize smaller towns on the city's edge. Beyond the commute, this is an economic revolution. Some optimistic forecasts project the urban air mobility market to be worth up to $1.5 trillion by 2040, though other analysts see it closer to $1 trillion. This will create a whole new ecosystem of jobs: pilots before full autonomy, technicians, vertiport ground crews, and a new generation of digital air traffic controllers. And the uses go far beyond passengers. Imagine on-demand delivery of critical goods, like organs for transplant, moved between hospitals in minutes. Air ambulances could land directly at an accident on a highway. For rural and remote communities, this technology could be a lifeline connecting islands without bridges and mountain villages without roads to healthcare and economic opportunities like never before. The massive hurdles we must overcome. But there's a catch, a big one. Before we get to this sky-high utopia, we need to solve some massive, frankly terrifying challenges. The road from a working prototype to mass adoption is a minefield. First and foremost is safety. This is the absolute deal-breaker. A single high-profile crash could set the industry back years. The big question is, what happens if an engine fails over a city? The industry's answer is redundancy. Instead of one or two engines, eVTOLs use multiple independent motors. If one or even several fail, the others can compensate and land the vehicle safely. Many also have a ballistic parachute that can deploy even at low altitudes. But what about severe weather? High winds, icing, or even bird strikes? Proving safety means thousands of hours of painstaking real-world flight testing. Second, regulation. You can't just have thousands of new aircraft buzzing around cities. Today's air traffic control can't handle it. The solution is a new, automated digital sky, an AI-powered network managing flight paths in real time. But who runs it? Who's liable if the AI messes up? And how do you prevent flights over sensitive areas like airports or government buildings? Regulators like the FAA are writing the rule book for a new form of transportation from scratch, and it's incredibly complex. Third, infrastructure. Flying cars need a place to land. Building a huge network of vertiports will cost billions. Who pays for it? Private companies? The government? And what about power? A single vertiport could draw as much electricity as a small factory. Our current city grids aren't ready for that kind of demand, which means we'll need massive upgrades to our energy infrastructure. Fourth is public acceptance. eVTOLs are quieter than helicopters, but they aren't silent. Imagine hundreds of them flying over your neighborhood all day. This new kind of noise pollution could face serious local opposition. Then there's privacy. What's it like to live in a high-rise with a constant stream of vehicles flying past your window? The public has to feel these vehicles are a benefit, not a noisy, intrusive nuisance for the wealthy. And finally, cost and accessibility. Early on, these will be toys for the rich. A single flying car can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. This creates the risk of a very visible symbol of inequality, the wealthy flying over the traffic jams the rest of us are stuck in. The air taxi model is the key to avoiding this. By sharing the cost across many passengers, companies hope to bring the price down. But will it ever be truly affordable for everyone? That might be the biggest challenge of all. We are living in a remarkable moment. The flying car, for so long a fantasy, is now a fact. The technology is real. The prototypes are flying, and the first services are on the horizon. Companies like Aleph, Joby, and Arid are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, creating machines that promise to dissolve traffic, reshape our cities, and connect our world. However, the path forward is not a simple ascent. It's loaded with colossal challenges. The hurdles of safety, regulation, infrastructure, public acceptance, and cost are just as real as the technology is exciting. Overcoming them will demand incredible collaboration between industry, governments, and the public. The era of the flying car is no longer a question of if, but when and how. It won't be a sudden revolution. It will be a slow rollout. First cargo, then emergency services, then premium air taxis in a few cities. Only then might the dream of personal ownership become a reality for more than just a few. The next decade is the proving ground. The dream is alive, but the hard work is just beginning. The journey to our flying future is just starting, and it will be shaped by all of us. What do you think is the biggest